Everywhere we turned, there was Thrash. Ads, trailers, and social media posts hyping this thing harder than Dogecoin 5 years ago. And look, we actually picked this over watching WrestleMania, which now that we think about it might have been the better call. We didn't hate it, but we didn't love it either. We're Flix in a minute, and while we won't outright trash Thrash, we're definitely going to talk about it. Thrash is a 2026 R-rated survival thriller written and directed by Tommy Wirkola, the man behind Dead Snow and Violent Night. It stars Phoebe Dynevor, Whitney Peak, and Djimon Hounsou. Runs right around 80 minutes, which honestly works in its favor. Now before we go any further, we want to be real with you. We like some stupid stuff. For Frodo's sake, we've got a review about a cracked out raccoon on this channel. We'll own that. So when we say this one didn't fully work, it's not because we walked in expecting something it was never going to be. It's because there's a difference between fun stupid and lazy stupid. And Thrash? Well, it's legit mostly the second one. Here's the thing that got under our skin. You know Crawl? 2019? Woman trapped in a flooding house during a Category 5 hurricane fighting off alligators to get her dad out alive. Tight, focused, genuinely tense. Good movie. Now picture somebody walking into a pitch meeting and saying, "You know that movie Crawl? What if we did that but with sharks?" That's Thrash. Not inspired by it. The same blueprint almost beat for beat. Hurricane floods a coastal town. People get trapped all over the place. Things with a lot of teeth show up looking for a meal. The difference is Crawl understood what made it work. One woman, one location, one threat getting worse by the minute. You never leave her side so the tension never breaks. Thrash splits its attention across 3 separate storylines, and every time it cuts away from one group to check in on another, whatever dread it built just leaks right out. By the time it cuts back, you're spending the first few seconds just remembering who these people are. A thriller needs you locked in. Thrash keeps letting you drift. Which brings us to these characters. Wirkola gives everybody a backstory checkbox. Lisa, Dynevor's character, is 9 months pregnant and somehow still in town when a Category 5 hurricane makes landfall. Dakota, played by Peak, is an agoraphobic young woman who hasn't left the house since her mother died, and she's not leaving now even with the water rising. Then there are the foster kids, including a little boy named Will. They're stuck with foster parents who, and we're being generous here, seem to get into fostering mainly for those sweet government subsidy checks. Every group has their tragedy. Every tragedy has its plot function. Oh, and there's a meat truck. It breaks open during the flooding, blood spills into the water, and like Kellis's milkshake, it brings all the bull sharks to the yard. Of course it does, because everything in this movie happens at exactly the right terrible moment, for exactly the right convenient reason. You can feel the script moving people around like we're playing checkers, and that kills any chance of real tension dead. Now the decisions. Sweet baby back ribs, the decisions these people make. Look, we expect a character or two to do something spectacularly dumb in a movie like this, but here everyone but the sharks are making dumb decisions because, well, it's in the script. There's a moment, and we're not spoiling anything, where a man is warned loudly and clearly that there's a shark right outside his door. Someone's screaming it at him. He opens the door anyway, right into the jaws of an aquatic meat grinder. The movie plays it completely straight. The music swells, the editing tightens, and the whole thing is framed like a hero moment. We laughed, like really hard. We weren't supposed to. The movie had absolutely no idea it was a comedy. And honestly, that's Thrash in a nutshell. Here's where we give it some credit though. The kills are graphic, over the top, violent in a way that tips right back into absurd. There's something genuinely entertaining about a movie playing its deaths completely straight while you're sitting there absolutely losing it. The sharks look legitimately good. The production clearly put real money into them. The attacks are nasty. The sound design is doing work the script refuses to do, building atmosphere out of audio because the story's not getting there on its own. You can tell somebody on this production looked at the script and said, look, we don't have much going on story-wise, so we're going all in on the attacks. That was the right call. And there are flashes of the Wirkola who made Violent Night in here, that Home Alone chaos energy when the humans start fighting back. There's a moment in the third act where we actually cheered. Caught us completely off guard, we're not telling you what it is, but it's the best 60 seconds in this movie. No, seriously. And then there's Dynevor and Peak, and we've got to be honest, these two were fun to watch together. Their chemistry is real. Funny, warm, easy in a way you can't fake. Peak takes Dakota from someone who had us a little irritated to someone we were genuinely rooting for, and that's all her, not the writing. Little Will and the other foster kids had us in their corner from jump. The foster parents, on the other hand, had their karma coming. The movie knows it too. Those particular deaths land with a satisfaction the rest of the kills can't quite match. So did we have fun? Okay, yes, there were fun moments, and we enjoyed them for what they were. However, the hype sold this as something it's not, and the charlatans verbally passing this snake oil around should be made to only be able to watch Thrash for the rest of the year. We were lied to, but since we didn't pay a dime to see it, we can't ask for our money back. With all that said, we're giving Thrash 2 stars out of 5. No amount of tequila moves that rating. If you're a creature feature fan who can live with a movie that borrows more than it invents, give it a shot. But if you need your characters to make decisions that make sense, or you walked in expecting the marketing to have told you the truth, go watch Crawl instead. It's the better movie. If you want more honest takes on the overhyped and the overlooked, subscribe and stick around. We've got another one queued up for you. Did Thrash work for you? What are we missing? Drop it in the comments. That's all for now, movie lovers. Until next time.
Back to your hut and get a spear?
No. I went back to my apartment, called the police, and had me some pizza. We live in Mozambique, not the fucking Jungle Book.